MMA Boxing Talk here. I just wanted to make a video talking about some big fights we have to look forward to in September. Of course, in August, Mayweather McGregor is going to consume everyone's attention. All the media, all the articles are going to be talking about this. And I'm quite frankly sick of hearing about it, sick of talking about it. So I want to look forward. I want to look to September, and we have some really good fights to look forward to. Of course, the biggest fight in boxing. It'll be by far the biggest fight of boxing in 2017, and that is Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. I've been looking forward to this fight for years now. I think, I'm pretty sure it was a solid year and a half that Canelo and De La Hoya and his team, they let they avoided Gennady Golovkin for a good year and a half, but at least they're gonna get in the ring with him now, and he didn't wait 6 years like Floyd Mayweather did to Manny Pacquiao. So at least they're still gonna fight, both in their primes. Both have super high KO ratio, so that's really that's something to look forward to as well. Both fighters, have similar builds. I know Canelo's he's more muscular, but they're both, Canelo I believe is 5'9", Gennady Golovkin's 5'10". Their reach is very similar as well. They both, their styles are different, but they're not really boxers. They're not brawlers either. They're calculated. I think Triple G is obviously a lot more come forward. Canelo likes to counter a little more, but Canelo's aggressive in there. He doesn't like to take too many back steps. So that's going to make this fight very, very exciting. It's going to be fireworks. I really don't see it going the distance. I just don't. This is a fight, that Gennady Golovkin has desperately needed. For him to get to the next level, he needs a big, big name like Canelo. He needs a superstar on his because Canelo is a pay-per-view star. He's the biggest pay-per-view star in boxing right now. If you don't count Mayweather or Pacquiao. So Golovkin needs this feather in his cap. He needs to beat Canelo if he really wants to get to the next level. And I know his career, it might not be that much left to it, but and he wants it for his legacy as well. So can't wait for this one. I see Triple G, putting it all on the line. And Canelo though is a great fighter, very, very talented. I'm a big fan of him as well, but I see Gennady Golovkin winning that fight. I just think he'll be too much for him. And I do see Golovkin stopping him later in the fight, probably like round 10 or 11ish. But anyway, can't wait for that one. I'll be putting out a real prediction video breakdown. I want to go back and watch like both of their last 10, 15 fights to really get a good idea. But yeah, so that's September 16th. Can't wait for that one. The week before, UFC is having a pay-per-view event, UFC 215 in, I believe, Edmonton, Alberta. Decent card, For one, the main event is Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. He's taking on Ray Borg. And if Johnson wins, he will break Anderson Silva's record for most consecutive title defenses. Anderson and Mighty Mouse right now both have 10. Mighty Mouse wins, he'll have 11. He'll have the record. And I do want to note, if John Jones would have never, messed up outside the ring and always held his belt, he would be up because he's got 8 defenses already. He had 8 consecutive title defenses. So if John Jones would have never fucked up, Jones would be at probably 13 or 14 defenses by now, and we wouldn't be talking about Mighty Mouse breaking the record. But good for him, he deserves it. I know a lot of people, they shit on that the flyweight division, but at the end of the day, MMA is the easiest sport to lose in, and Mighty Mouse makes it look easier than anybody else. Such a flawless fighter, real treat to watch. So I'm excited for that fight. Co-main event is a fight I'm looking forward to as well. Is Nunes versus Shevchenko. This is a rematch. This was supposed to happen just this past July. Shevchenko pulled out the day of because of sinusitis. So they rebooked it pretty quickly after. So I'm looking forward to that one. I have Shevchenko winning that fight for sure. I did before Nunez pulled out, and I still do. Um, and then we also have a classic heavyweight matchup between Junior Dos Santos, the heavy hitting Junior Dos Santos, and the also heavy hitting Francis Ngannou. Ngannou's trying to work his way up to the top five and be an elite guy up there and finally get a title shot. And Junior Dos Santos, he's coming off of a loss to the champ Stipe, which was an ugly first round KO. So Junior, it's an important fight for him because he wants to stay relevant and stay at the top of the division as well. So that's great fights. Already three solid fights. Another fight that's going to be really exciting, scrappy fight will be Jeremy Stephens versus Gilbert Melendez. That's also on the card. I like this matchup. It's an interesting matchup. Neil Magny versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos has a lot of power. He's very quick, very tough, but he's only 5'8". Neil Magny is 6'3", so that'll be interesting to see. A 5'8" person fighting a 6'3" person. I see that fight going either way. I kind of favor Dos Anjos, but you never know. I wouldn't count out Magny completely. And of course, early on in the night, in the prelims, we have an interesting flyweight fight. Henry Cejudo versus Wilson Hayes. I think that'll be a good fight. And also, Gavin Tucker is also on the card. And, he, in his UFC debut, he looked spectacular against Sam Sicilia. Definitely an exciting fighter with an exciting style. And I'm curious to see how he does. But solid card. I can't wait for UFC 215. The main card is going to be good if everything stays intact. But yeah, so I can't wait for September. I hate to rush the summer away, but I'm really looking forward to those two fight nights. We'll have UFC 215 on September 9th, and then the week later we'll have Canelo versus Triple G. And another thing too, this will be for another video, but the same night, September 9th, same night as UFC 215, there's also a ridiculous flyweight card that HBO's putting on. You're going to have 5 of the best flyweights in the world. Chocolatito, Roman Gonzalez, he's going to be rematching Rungvisai, who is the only guy to beat Chocolatito. I personally didn't think Rungvisai won that fight. I thought, Chocolatito got knocked down early on in that fight, got back up, and I was really, really paying close attention scoring those rounds because I knew, the knockdown, you lose an extra point. So he was already behind the 8 ball. I thought he still won 8 rounds to 4, which should have got him the win, but he's opportunity for redemption. So I'm hoping Chocolatito can get the win there. And then there's 2 of arguably the 2 toughest fights for Chocolatito, which would be Quadras and Estrada. They're both fighting each other in the co-main event. And then also a lot of people have a lot of praise for this guy, and that is Naoya Inoue from Japan, nicknamed the Monster. This kid is a phenom. I think he's going to have a very bright future in boxing, and I think he'll be able to move up more divisions and fight at a higher weight in the future. He's only 24. So that's a great card too. Unfortunately, I'll be buying the pay-per-view and I'll be watching the UFC. But after the fights are done, I'll definitely be YouTubing all those sweet flyweight fights. So lots to look forward to in September. Cannot wait. Let me know what you guys think. Who you're picking in the Canelo Triple G fight, and who you have for Johnson Borg. That's kind of a no-brainer. Nunez Shevchenko, and who are you picking for Dos Anjos and Ngannou? That's a curious one. I think Ngannou is going to pull it off, but man, he's got to be careful. His chin will probably get tested in this fight. And of course, Dos Santos has to be careful too. So anyway, that's it for this one. Like the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMABoxingTalk1. Peace.